This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena. Folks, it is September 25th, 2021. This weekend, I plan to do my first live show on the station in about a year and a half. But Zoom has been such a gift. Whoever invented Zoom, give that person the key to whatever city he lives in, because this has allowed me. Well, as of this interview, I am matching 2019, where I had 101 interviews, and now I have number 101 today. And we are celebrating. We are celebrating the 55th anniversary of the fortune cookie with Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. Yes, the grumpy old men pair themselves. We have a young lady on the show with us today who is in that movie, and she looks smashingly awesome with her blue. Folks, I give you the very lovely Lisa Linsky. How do you do, Lisa?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me, Greg. What's interesting? You just mentioned that it was the 55th anniversary for Fortune Cookie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was born in 1955, and one of the things I always thought about that was cool about that was that I was as old as Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, it was it just was a wonderful experience in my life, getting to be a part of all of that.
Yes. Well, I love your background and stuff. You look great in your blue. You look very classy. Your hair.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I've been doing it myself since COVID.
Well, you know what? We got the jump on the COVID here. The big issue I had done 30 interviews in 2020. And I did my last one was in March 18th, 2020. And then we went into lockdown and I had about 30 guests waiting to come on my show. And I was like, what do I do? Now, on the plus side, I don't put these up on YouTube right away. I save them for a rainy day. Of course, you'll get this right away, before it ever goes public. You'll get it and you can put it wherever you want to. But for me, I was told by my former station manager, save some for a rainy day. So I put so many up a month. And luckily for me, I had about 150 plus that I could put up when COVID hit. And I discovered that COVID turned out to be the rainy day because I had no way of doing this. And I went the rest of the year because I'm an essential worker. I work as a cleaner. That's what I do for money. And I did four buildings yesterday.
Wow. What kind of buildings, or what type of hospitals, or just offices?
No, just wherever I'm put. I was talking to you during my second one yesterday when you called. Right. So yeah, and
I thought I heard a toilet flush.
Huh?
I thought I heard a toilet flush yesterday.
Yeah, no. Well, what I do with my phone, I have it tucked away in a side piece I wear, and I have the headphones in. So if somebody calls me, I can just stick my headphones in and just go and do my thing.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. As opposed to just stopping and answering the phone, I can do my work and, because, my folks are both terminally ill. So my mom will call me.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Dad's got ALS and mom has Parkinson's. So mom will call me, like if I'm working a back shift, she'll call me in the middle of the night. And so I'll talk to her while I'm working. And
oh my God. So you must cheer them up, right?
Well, my younger brother's my tech guy, and he does a lot of the running around for them and stuff. I don't see them that often because of my work schedule, because I live out in the boonies, but my brother takes a lot good care of them, and wow. I think he's probably as busy as I am as a cleaner. I think he's busier, and I wouldn't trade places with them.
No, that takes a special angel to be involved with that. I know my husband's done that twice for family members, and it really is it's a challenge. You get a lot of blessings from it, but it really just weighs heavy on your heart.
Well, Dad's had the ALS since 2014. They say the life expectancy of that is under 5 years. So my dad is gone, and I'm not surprised because my dad's always been a strong person, you know. So I'm not surprised that he's still going, you know. But
Was he an athlete or real active in life? Or
oh yeah, he was a workaholic. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's the story with. I don't wear these headphones to work. Obviously, they're too big. But I have these little headphones I use with my phone, and when somebody calls, I can just stick the earbuds in and go. And I
so
happen to,
sorry,
yeah, I
I
happened
actually
to be in a building yesterday when you called that. I was called out of the first building because I'm the buffer. I get called in when people are either out or people aren't doing their jobs.
oh,
And unfortunately, it's mostly the latter. And so I got called yesterday while I was in my first building, asking to go finish up in a second building. So I went there, and they were closed at a certain time. So I had to get there before that time. So yeah, so when you the toilet's flushing, yeah,
no, I
I
knew
was,
you.
yeah, yeah, I was able to work and still talk, you know.
You
Um,
mentioned about your headphones. So I have new hearing aids. This is like my fifth pair I've been trying out because I have a disease called otosclerosis,
uh-huh.
which is degenerative, and I've had many surgeries. And anyway, so it's been very frustrating trying out these different hearing aids because the sound and the feedback, like I get a little bit like right now, but this is much better than it was. But
Uh-huh.
these are new Jabra ones. I just got them at Costco, and they're still tweaking them a little bit. But so far, these are the best as far as sound. I can play the piano and I don't have to take them out because sometimes the noise was so annoying. But yeah, so but now the neat thing about these is I can go Bluetooth and right into my phone, and it sounds great.
Well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Um, but nonetheless, we're celebrating, of course, the 55th anniversary of the fortune cookie. 1966. Now, that would have been 6 years before I was born.
Okay, so I was like 8 or 9 years old. I mean, that was all so many lifetimes ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was born in 1972. So,
So you're like almost the age of some. Well, my youngest was born in '76, Jasa. So
it's
you
the
could be
same year
almost
my
my
younger
son.
brother was born.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or my little brother. That's true. I have a little brother your age.
there you go. There you go. So, I just kind of fell into the podcasting thing kind of by accident because I review movies, and I did a show down at the campus station on a weekly basis, and then I ended up through a third party an interview with Tommy Wiseau from The Room. And
Hmm.
after that, it was like, who else can I do this with, you know? And you're number 485 since April 2015. So,
Well, that's a lot.
and I'm loving this. Like, I'm able to talk to people from these movies, and I'm like, where's because when I was in high school, we still had typewriters, we still had phones that stuck to the
Yeah.
wall, and
No, yeah.
I'm like, this is kind of nice, you
Wait,
know?
when you were in high school, there were computers, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So and cell phones. Yeah. So you were a different generation too.
yeah. Well, the cell phone thing was just kind of in its infancy, you know? I
Mhm.
didn't have a cell phone when I was in
Pager.
high
You had a
school.
pager probably, right? Your parents gave you a pager.
No.
Oh, okay.
Are you kidding me? Do you think I wanted them paging people in high school? No, I didn't want them to know what I was up to at that.
No, I remember I gave my kids had pagers just for emergency purposes. If I needed to reach them or if they needed to reach me. So it was a. But I remember the cell phones. I had like a 9 or 10 pound battery pack I would have to carry around, and I think I was one of the pioneer members with Sprint, and so I would try to do my work where there was reception in town before I would go home because we lived out in the boonies, and there was like no reception. So yeah, that was a whole different. But I remember when computers were coming around and the internet, and I mean, and you talk about Zoom, it's just been life-changing, and all the people that are working remotely now. And there's been a lot of great things that have come from this pandemic, and people that have moved out of the cities. Like you and I talked about that yesterday, how it's changed. Good, there's yin and yang, good and bad. It's just I know there's a lot of fear out there. But if people can just focus on a lot of the good stuff that's coming from it, and the fact that they can, a lot of them are taking off, and they can work remotely, so they can be in a national forest somewhere or anywhere in the world and do their work, hopefully, or take their kids and things or families. And I think, or one of the hardest things was a lot of older folks that weren't allowed to see their children or grandchildren because they were trying to be careful and everything. And I know where you are, I think you had it they were more restrictive than where I am here in San Diego, California.
What's it like?
But Zoom, FaceTime, all of that has been a lifesaver.
What's it like in what'd you say, San Diego, you say you're in?
I'm in San Diego. Well, I'm in Carlsbad, next to Legoland. I'm like 2 hours south of Los Angeles.
Because when I think San Diego, I think of Anchorman.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
wait a minute.
okay.
No, yeah. Huh.
Yep. Or you think of San Diego, SeaWorld, San Diego. Okay. Or Comic-Con.
I've been to one Comic-Con in Toronto.
Oh,
yeah.
I wonder if I've been to one here, and I took my grandkids, and it was so fun, but it's so difficult to get tickets. But no, we had a great time.
Who did you meet?
It's crazy, but it's fun to get all dressed up and see all the different characters. And then my grandkids, we got to participate in a lot of the different adventurous things that they have going on there. So
do you dress up as the little girl from the fortune cookie?
No, but I actually remember the day that they took me out shopping for that outfit. But no, I dressed up as a really cool Renaissance warrior princess. I kind of made up an outfit.
Did your husband dress up too?
No, he didn't go.
Why? He could have been Jack Sparrow.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll see if I can convince him next time, or maybe you can, or maybe we'll go to the Toronto one. If you guys,
you know what? I'm going to tell you my story with this. I was always homesick. Always homesick. We got 3 cities here in New Brunswick. We got Fredericton, which I'm located in. There's St. John, and there's Moncton, which aren't too far away. And if I go to Moncton and St. John, I get homesick.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just always been like that. But here's the funny story. I was interviewing an actress named Lisa Langlois from the movie Class of 1984. She's a Canadian actress. Now, she lived in Los Angeles for 32 years. And she finally came back to Canada, because, she's always wanted to come back. So she moved back to Toronto. And the first time I interviewed her, she was in California. Second time I interviewed her, she was in Toronto. And we got talking about travel. And finally, she asked what was stopping me. And I went into all this. Well, as Marlon Brando said in The Godfather, she made me an offer I could not refuse.
What was that?
She offered me the opportunity to come to Horrorama in Toronto, which is a horror film convention, and assist her at her table.
Whoa.
And I couldn't say no to that. And she and I,
cool.
This was in 2017.
Okay.
And she and I have been talking. Actually, we were talking to each other this week, actually. Like we've sent each other Christmas gifts, actually. She and I have become very, very good friends. And she's taught me a lot about how to improve my brand and this and that. And I remember being petrified about the thought of going, but I couldn't say no. And but this was back when my parents were still fairly mobile. They drove me to the airport for that first trip, because that way I could leave my car at their place and not have to pay to leave at the airport. And
I get it.
yeah, so they saw me off on that first trip. My younger brother's taken me to the airport the rest of the years because their health increasingly declined, but they saw me that first trip. And I remember, Lisa called me on the phone when I was at the airport waiting for my flight to arrive and give me some instructions. And I was nervous about getting on the plane because I'm the only one in my family who's ever flown.
Seriously?
Yep. And when I get on that plane,
And you were how old?
well, I'm 49 now,
yeah,
so
4 years ago. Oh my gosh.
yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That was huge for you.
Well, I'm going to tell you, when I got on the plane, like I took gravel and stuff like that, but it's like once we got going, I got a rush out of it. It was like a bus in the sky. I actually kind of liked it.
Get it. I love it.
Yeah, like I got this big rush as the plane picks up speed and goes up in the air. I was like,
Wow.
I kind of enjoy. Now my folks said they'd never do it, and they're at that age, they probably won't now anyway. But I was like, yeah, I kind of enjoy it.
Huh? Has your brother flown?
No, I'm the only one.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm the only one.
I know years ago I traveled the world a lot, and I was in Ireland, and I remember meeting people that had never left their village, and I was thinking, wow. I mean, how can you? I mean, when I discovered how to ride a bike when I was 4 years old, I was gone. I just had to memorize, street light or different corners or what a house looked like so I could get back home. But I remembered how to get to the liquor store where I could buy candy, so wow, that's amazing. And then when I discovered airplanes and frequent flyer miles and all that stuff, yeah, you can ask my husband. I'm always planning. I'll be on a trip, and I'm already planning the next trip or the trip next. Like yesterday, I asked you. I said, "What's on your bucket list? Where are you going next?" And you said you're going to Toronto, right, to a film festival.
I'm going to Frightmare in the Falls, which is another convention. Frightmare in the Falls. It's another horror film convention.
Okay. I missed that part. So do you dress up? Do you get to be like some kind of scary character?
Yeah, this one.
No.
I don't dress up, but boy, I love the cosplay people do. They're so dedicated.
Oh, it's so fun. If I know my kids get into the Halloween thing and all of that stuff too, and I have one son, Jimmy, who's a professional photographer, but he's an amazing artist. So he has 4 sons, and we were getting ready for Halloween, and his youngest had fallen asleep. So he painted his face in this amazing, because they were all going as Day of the Dead kind of people. And when Bennett woke up, he was like this. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Yeah. So but it's so fun to watch. And then my son, he was, I think, a cowboy. But it's so fun what I've noticed is, depending upon what you're wearing, you become it becomes a part of you. Or so, like, and I know early on when I had my children were younger, if my girls wore shorts to school, they acted different than when they wore a dress. And I know that's the same for me too. They were more ladylike, but when they wore pants or pants or shorts or jeans, oh my gosh, totally different. And then when my son Jonathan went Halloween, he was like 7 years old. His older sister dressed him up as a little girl and her younger sister's outfit, and they called him Janina, anyway, it was Jonathan, and he looked so cute. And so when we went to the Halloween festival at the school, no one knew that was Jonathan. All his little friends and my kids' friends, they just thought I had another daughter with me or something. But it's so fun, is what I'm saying. Like when you get dressed up. And when I did go to Comic-Con, little Bennett, I took him to the Disney store to pick out a cool outfit, and he picked out the Black Panther. And I think he was 7 years old at the time, 7 or 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And he totally just had so much fun, and so many people loved to have their picture taken with him because, here's this little Black Panther, that, it was just so fun. It was just,
Mm-hmm.
and we actually took the train from up here in Carlsbad down there, and I'm in my warrior princess outfit, Renaissance kind of thing. And he's in his Black Panther, and it was just, yeah, it was so fun to do that with him. And so I'm just thinking, maybe think about like seeing what kind of scary character you could be, or I don't know, and see what that opens up for you.
Do you ever get your husband to dress up as Walter Matthau or Jack Lemmon?
I'm the one that's worn the neck brace. Oh my gosh, that would be. Actually, I'm looking at him right now. He could, no, well, not. He's different than those guys. Can you say hi to you really quick?
Sure, I'd love to have him say hello.
I just keep looking at him over there. We're actually upstairs in our the living room part of our bedroom, or the fireplace part. He helped me set this up with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, peek in.
Okay.
Can you see?
Yeah, I'm in there now. How you doing?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
This is him. See? Can you see that?
Oh wow, you play guitar.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Are you a musician?
No, you don't want to hear me play an instrument. But I've interviewed a lot of musicians on here.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I had Tony Basil on here.
I'm not sure I know that. Is that the?
She sang "Oh Mickey, you're so fine."
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I had Tiffany on here.
I know that name. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had people like that on here. Yeah. Wow.
I'm one of those musicians in the background kind of guys. I mean, I have my own career and recorded a lot of albums in the jazz world.
Yeah.
And have written a little bit for film and television, but I've worked with a lot of pop stars as sort of a ringer musician, or in the studio. So I actually.
You play with Tony Bennett and all those guys, or?
Yeah, I my first tour, I was 17 years old.
Before you were born.
Yeah, 1969. Yeah, when I was 17 years old, I was hanging out with all the studio musicians in LA as kind of a hot kid guitar player, and someone told me about an audition for a pop tour in 1969, the year of Woodstock, and I just went to this audition and got hired to go on this tour with a bunch of pop groups, the Grassroots. I don't know, they're all before your time.
Oh yeah, I remember the Grassroots. So I was born in 1972, so that wasn't too far ahead of me.
Their music was still around, but I don't know what you were listening to when you were 1 year old. But
that's what you think.
Anyhow, so I've been around a lot of pop stars and a lot of whatever, but I managed to stay fairly anonymous because my music is all instrumental music. So I always tell people I specialize in music that doesn't make any money. I'm really good at it.
There you go.
No, seriously though, there's probably a handful of people in the world that can play the way Jeff plays. Mm-hmm. Plus, anything someone plays,
you can see why we're married.
He'll play it right back at you. He was doing this one show one time with Lawrence Juber and all these guys, and they were on stage at down in what was that called?
Humphreys,
yeah, here in San Diego by the Bay, and they're all playing different things, and it was amazing. But what Lawrence Juber right before him had played a song that he had written for his wife, and then when it's Jeff's turn to play, he says, it was fun. But
I make a lot of jokes, and some of them I wouldn't put on a podcast. But
oh yeah, you can delete that part.
Only because
you kidding me? I don't. I can let people can go totally R-rated on here. I have no filter.
Yeah, well,
that's like me, no filter.
Yeah, what happened? What Lisa was referring to was, I don't know if you know Lawrence Juber. He's a great guitarist, really great guy. We're born one day apart. He was a guitar player in Wings in Paul McCartney's band, but he's had a great solo guitar career too. And we were doing this all-star guitar night at Humphreys with Larry Carlton and who else was in that? Muriel Anderson.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And I forget who all was there. There's like 5 guitar players, and we're kind of taking turns. And so Lawrence, he's from England. He says, "So well, here's a song. I was watching my wife take a bath one day, and I was inspired to write this music, you know." And so and then he played this song. It was a cool little guitar piece, you know, and I guess that's sort of my claim to fame. If I hear something, I can play it back, you know. So when it was my turn, I said, "So I was watching Lawrence's wife take a bath one day," and then I played his song, and the whole audience really cracked up and thought it was very funny. But I don't know.
The expression on Lawrence's face was,
"You watched my wife take the bath one day."
He didn't know the Linsky sense of humor.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll let you guys get to the fortune cookie because there's a lot of fun stories. Is this the one that
we watched last night?
No, but where you were wearing a medallion and that's how you got the part?
Oh, yes. I'll tell you that story.
Okay, here, I'll let you have Lisa here.
Well, before we get to the medallion, I was going to finish off on the convention thing because when I got invited, like I said, it was my first time in a plane. When we touched down in Toronto, it was the first time I'd seen escalators since the 80s because we don't have them here anymore. So Lisa met me at Union Station, and she and I became really good friends. I went with her the day before the convention so she could get her photos and stuff, and I offered to assist her, but also gave me an opportunity to see more of the city and get a little more of a tour guide. And I had a blast, and I got the bug, and I've gone every year since, except last year because something decided to ruin that. But I've done 3 Horror-ramas, 1 Comic Con in Toronto, and the cosplay was extremely heavy in the Comic Con. And I'm good. Horror-rama did not have an opportunity to schedule people when the restrictions loosened up, but Frightmare in the Falls is still a go. So Lisa suggested I attend that one for my first time, and I said sure. And I've had a blast, and my family cannot believe I just got on a plane and went to Toronto by myself, and I was
Good
like,
for you.
Well, that's what happens when an actress invites you.
You got the travel bug, right?
Yeah. I don't know when I'll be to the States or anything like that. You know, it's baby steps, but because my job, I'm heavily relied on. So I don't know when my supervisor's already not looking forward to me going to Toronto this year because she said I'm the only one she can rely on, apparently.
And this is over Halloween you're going?
I'm going to go. I'm leaving here on the 28th of October. The convention's the 29th and 30th, but I'm staying till the 4th of November.
So this is over Halloween, and it's you can get dressed up, or a lot of people are getting dressed up or going in costume, or
probably. I'm not going to get dressed up. I got scary enough face.
Okay, well, I'm just planting a seed. You know how you got on the plane and that was really fun. So think about, like, if you were going to be, you know, like, create your own movie or whatever, or who's your favorite, you know.
Oh, I would dress up like Tommy Wiseau and get into character from The Room. That's what I would do. I'd probably get kicked off the plane if I acted like him.
You don't actually, you know, you fly Southwest, you can go in costume and you can get away with it. Those guys are a lot of fun. But maybe don't go in costume on the plane because they might not let you, unless if there's a mask involved, and that's cool.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, here's what I want. Nick, I'm turning 66 at the end of this year, December 31st.
Are you kidding me? You look 39.
No. Thanks. I have good genes, but it's been my goal ever since I can remember that I want to, you know, drive Route 66 when I'm 66. And I thought about starting like on my birthday, but then the weather's not that great. So I think we're going to maybe start maybe early spring. But I want to make my way, all the way back, to Chicago. But then since I'm back there, I want to get up to Canada, and maybe we'll come up and see you. And I have some other friends up there, music friends and such, that have been inviting us to go there. So I'll put you on our bucket list.
You go come to Fredericton, New Brunswick, huh?
You know what? I've never been to that part of the world. The closest I told you
Nobody's ever had.
Okay. I remember one time I had free tickets to fly anywhere on Southwest, and I flew as far east as I could get with my couple of my kids. And I think that at that time was oh golly, I'm trying to Massachusetts or somewhere, I think, not Boston, but the city up above there or whatever.
Maine?
Yeah, it was not Maine. I don't think that was an option at the time. But I just remember that was like something I wanted to do, like try to get as close to that part of the world as it was like 30 years ago. But that was fun. And then I wanted to go to Salem, Massachusetts, and I had a rental car. And this is before you had GPS and iPhones and all that stuff. So I had a map, and then I got directions, on where to go, because I want to take my kids to Salem, Massachusetts, and where the witch trials were and everything. And I didn't know there was a Salem, Massachusetts. No, I mean there's a Salem, the state above that, and we get there, I'm thinking, well, this doesn't look like the Salem I was thinking about. But it turned out that, and I went to a gas station because my mom taught me, if you're lost, go to a gas station, ask for directions. So they said, yeah, lady, you got to get back on this freeway and hold it here. And so we ended up getting to another Salem. But then I found out years later, I'm doing my genealogy, and I'm a direct ancestor from the people that were in the witch trial, people that were accusers and the people that were accused, which was really interesting. And anyway, yeah, that's as close as I got to Canada. That part of Canada. I've been to the West Coast several times.
There you go. Well, I'm looking forward to doing the travel, and I love the horror film conventions a lot because there's kind of like a community amongst the fans there. And so I love those, but I did do one Comic-Con, and that was fantastic. And yeah, it's fun.
What's your favorite horror movie? If you had just one of the top three.
That's a very good question. I'm very fond of the original Halloween.
I don't know that. Do you know that one? Oh, okay. I don't have the best memory, but
yeah. And I love Dress to Kill, De Palma. I love Miss 45. I love Hitchcock. I had his granddaughter on here back 5 years ago.
Wow.
So
he was awesome.
Yeah, but a lot of people think I'm strictly horror films on here. I know. I was like, no, I'm strictly whoever I can get hold of to come on here and talk about their films. I mean, I'm wearing an Easy A shirt today, and that's not horror.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cute.
That's Emma Stone.
It's hard to tell. Okay, you know what? I don't have my glasses on, so it's a kind of. Oh, sweet, beautiful.
Yeah, Emma Stone from Easy A. Yeah. So, but yeah, you were in a horror film in 1966 called The Fortune Cookie.
Oh my gosh, that was so fun as a kid. It was. I look back, and it was magical. It was fun. I remember I've been riding a skateboard since I was, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old, and I was pretty much a tomboy. Actually, my father, my mom had 5 girls, and I was my father's. My father's. He always said I was his firstborn son, and then he had. Only because he had 5 girls with my mother, and then 2 more bonus girls with his what would have been my second stepmother, but then wasn't, but kind of was a secret family. And then he married my stepmother and had another daughter. So then he's got 8 daughters, and I'm still his firstborn son. And then my brother Kenny comes along, and then another little brother Kiwi. So I was displaced, but I started it out. So as a tomboy, and I just loved, my sisters would play with the dolls and all that, girly stuff. And I just loved being outside and playing sports, anything. I mean, as soon as the sun was up, I was gone. I was out, trying to find someone to ride a bike with or play baseball with or whatever, and then skateboarding. So when they had a big old cattle, they called them cattle calls back then. I don't know if they still do them, but there were hundreds of girls trying out for this part. They needed a young kid that could ride a skateboard, a girl. And I remember going in there thinking, I could do this, And also what's really cool is my Aunt Georgia had given all of us girls she'd been to Italy, Rome, Italy, and she came back with these rhinestone crosses. And in the middle of the rhinestone cross was this tiny little hole, and you could see the Vatican, right?
Okay.
And it was so, I don't know if they still make things like that, but so that was attached to me. I wore it all the time. And so when I did the audition, I guess some guy, turns out it was Billy Wilder, asked me, what's this cross? And I showed him how cool it was, right? And then that was it. I did my cattle call thing, whatever. I don't remember what they had me do except for riding the skateboard. And then sometime later, maybe a week or two later, I walk in the door at my home, and my mom says, "Hey, Lisa, do you have a rhinestone cross?" And I said, "Yeah, right here." And turned out they couldn't remember the name of the girl that they wanted to be Ginger Gingrich. And it was the girl with the rhinestone cross. And so that was me. So when I went back in, so that was kind of a sort of Cinderella-like. And it was really fun. And I remembered them taking me for costume, wardrobe. We went shopping, and this was, I think it was summertime, and they had us, we found a store because I had to look like I was wearing winter clothing. So we bought all these really cool warm clothes and stuff. But I remember that day and getting to pick out these cool things with whoever the wardrobe person was at the time. So that was fun. And then I remember when we were, oh, who's this?
This is Skittles.
It looks like Pico, or one of my granddaughter has like 4 or 5 cats, little Hazel. It's Skittles.
Yeah, he's a rescue. Skittles. Skittles, are you embarrassed? Are you embarrassed? Skittles is like, you're using me to get hits on your videos.
That'll do it. I know Hazel will watch.
Skittles, you lay on your ass every day while I go to work. I have to exploit you a little bit.
I was just watching this thing called 5-minute crafts or something like that on Instagram, and there's this one show that shows you how to potty train your kitty cat.
Oh, my cat's got my cat goes a litter box. Yeah, he's got a litter box. Now he's rubbing against my hand. All's forgiven and forgotten, which doesn't take long with him. Yeah. But do you still get on the skateboard?
Yes, but not lately. I actually I haven't been on a skateboard for probably about a year or two, maybe a year. I did go water skiing a few weeks ago, and that, but okay, so skateboarding, that's what helped get me the job, right? And while I was I've shared this with so many people in my family, my favorite thing that happened was when we have these tutors when you're in school, and I could hear music somewhere, so I asked to go to the bathroom, and I guess we're in a trailer or something, so I went to the bathroom and I followed the sound of the piano, and it's kind of it's sort of dark, and it wasn't the same stage where we were doing the filming, and this guy was playing the piano. and I just, and I just loved it. And so I just went in there really quietly, and he said I could come close, and so I just kind of stood next to the piano and listened to him play, and it was really nice. And then he invited me to sit down next to him, and so we played some like duet stuff together. And I think I don't know if I mentioned, but I've been playing the piano since I was 4 years old, just by ear and such. And my grandmother and my great grandmothers were both concert pianists and stuff. So piano is just part of my heartstrings. Mm-hmm. And so when we had this like special connection, and then someone came in and then they said, I guess they asked him if I was bothering him or something. And he said no. So I got to stay for a little bit longer. And so that was really...
Who was playing the piano?
Oh, it was Jack Lemmon. Oh, and then I later found out sorry, my husband just asked me
yep.
who was playing the piano. So I remembered, so years later, I read somewhere that part of Jack Lemmon's contract was that there had to be a piano somewhere offset for him to play. And that's where he would go to just kind of, chill or whatever, just kind of, I want to say center yourself, but, or just anyway. And I thought that was, wow, I totally get that. So that was.
I'm trying to think who told me that before too. I'm sure, I know I've heard that story before about Jack Lemmon and the piano.
Yeah, it was, and it turns out I loved listening to him play. And I remember I used to do the same thing with my grandmother, my Nana Pam. And she started the first all women's orchestra back with, Lionel Hampton, Benny Goodman, all those guys and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Mel Bay books, their music books. No. Well, Mel Bay's wife was May Bay, and May Bay was in my grandma's band. And this is back in St. Louis. And this is when women couldn't belong to unions or anything like that. So it was really tough. But yeah, so that was, but my grandmother, I call her Nana Pam, she could play every instrument in the band. But the one that I heard her the most on, besides the accordion, was the piano. And I could just sit by her piano for hours and hours. And she could play anything that she heard. She would just play forever and ever. And so when I met my husband, Jeff, he was playing guitar at a place, and it was beautiful. And it reminded me of my grandmother, they just that heart and soul. Mm-hmm. And, it just, so that was our first connection, and, just that sort of thing. And, but Jack Lemmon, I see he's like a kindred spirit, people that it's such a gift, to have that, that language or that outlet. Everyone has different ways of finding peace in their and joy, right? Mm-hmm. Some people love to listen to music. Some people love to create it, or some people will paint. Some people will write poetry, whatever. That all of that. So that was really fun getting to having that memory at such an early age.
What's interesting is Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau were such a great pairing. I believe I'm right here. The Fortune Cookie, I think, was their first pairing together.
It was our
first.
And Jack Lemmon, I later found out that I think they wanted like Frank Sinatra and somebody else maybe to take the part. Mm-hmm. And he said, nope, it's got to be Walter Matthau. And then Walter Matthau ended up getting an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Excuse me. So, because I guess Walter before that, he was Whiplash Willie, right? He makes the great bad guy or creepy guy or whatever. But he was always a bad guy, like a gangster kind of guy. So this was nice to get him in a comedic role.
You want me to tell you one of the big gifts about those two? Is that, you got a lot of comedy pairings. Abbott and Costello, for example. Glenn Abbott was always a straight man. Lou Costello was always the funny guy, and you'd have other examples of that. What I love about Lemmon and Matthau is they were never set in those parts. Like you look, for example, The Odd Couple. Walter Matthau's the straight guy, Jack Lemmon's the funny guy. But you look at, say, Out to Sea, which I know wasn't the last one they did together. They did Odd Couple 2 last. But you look at Out to Sea, Lemmon's the straight guy, Matthau is the funny guy. I love that they had that dynamic where they could switch it up. And both of them were incredibly funny.
Well, yeah, Walter was, I heard him, you know, like when they were doing all these scenes, especially with my grandmother was doing all that crying, you know, and it was really annoying. I think I told you. You could hear her offset so far away. But these guys are cracking jokes and doing stuff, and it was fun. And I remember when part of one of my lines was, I'm skateboarding and I'm asking for money, and I said, it's for unwed mothers. And nobody on the set, my family, no one would tell me. I said, what's unwed mothers? I didn't know what that line meant. But this back in the 60s, and nobody, you know, so I thought that was really funny. But it was just, you know, it was a whole different era. But these guys, yeah, they were amazing together. Just getting to watch them and and then we were recording on a set. It wasn't a real hospital in Los Angeles. Some of it was done back also in Cleveland, but on the set, there were actually two guys, one on each side of the doors that would open them up, right? If it's the elevator door or whatever. It was so cool. And it was just really fun, kind of just watching all of that at a young age. And I don't know if you knew this, but Walter had a heart attack in the middle of the filming. And my husband, Jeff, we were watching the film again last night, and you'll notice Walter, and one of the scenes is he's got this big heavy coat on. He's kind of, you know, like hunched over a little bit when he's walking into the apartment. I'm pretty sure that was after the heart attack, and he'd lost like 20 pounds or something like that. So there's a lot of things that I've discovered after the filming that really were amazing. This film, you know, Billy Wilder that they put together, and what a great writer. It was, and I mean, watching it now as an adult versus when I was like 10 years old, it's so different. And I appreciate a lot of the writing and the humor and the acting so much. Oh, and the music was incredible. I mean, right? You've heard the music in this. Yeah. Anyway. Andre Previn. Yeah, I know. My husband remind me it was Andre Previn. And it was like, what else did he did some other things that I really like. Who did the Pink Panther?
Oh, love those.
Oh yeah, Henry Mancini. Yeah. But it was that kind of right. But it was just so perfect for the what the movie was about. And you know, and I've discovered since I was I don't know, for 30, 40 years, especially is that how much music can make or break a movie.
Oh yeah, you're right. Going back to skateboard, did Lemmon and Matthau ever try out the skateboard?
I don't think so. Especially Walt. No, I don't think so. I think it was just my stage brother and myself that were doing the skateboard. Oh, but not to brag, but I was a better skateboarder than he was. I was trying to show him because I could ice skate and roller skate and do all that stuff and do all the spins and jumps. So I figured out how to do like a 360 on a skateboard, right? You just have to balance yourself the right way. So I was trying to show him how to do that. I think he got probably a 180 out of it. But yeah, that was fun.
Did you teach your husband how to ride the skateboard?
No. Hey, Jeff, you can skateboard though, right?
The first generation of skateboarders.
So did I. Okay, he's not that much older than me, but he did you hear what he said? He grew up with the first generation of skateboards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've come a long way. Now you got these long boards. I mean, I bought them for my kids and grandkids, and the wheels are totally different. Yeah, and the boards, you know, like now they can do all kinds of neat things. I knew two of my sons were really big into it, and they built ramps, you know, and I was so scared of when they were doing all that stuff. But turned out
they just built a ramp for skateboarders downtown within the last couple of years. And I didn't know what to think of it at first, because I was like, you know, but because I don't skateboard, but I've walked past it and there's like a lot of people down, sometimes in the middle of the night, people go down there, because I have a building down there I would clean. And I'm like, you know what, this keeps these people out of trouble. They're out there, the lights are on, they do their skateboarding, and it's wonderful. I walked past there last night because my car was parked in a lot just down from it, and there was a lot of people down there. People are skateboarding, have very harmonious kind of atmosphere. So I'm like, good sell on the city for building that down there. It's I think it's been wonderful.
Well, last March, I think it was 2020, during the beginning of the pandemic, and they shut down Zion National Park. My kids, some of my kids and grandkids, they were actually skateboarding. There were no cars on the road. I mean, normally there's like thousands a day going through there. And they were literally, my son Jimmy was taking video of my grandkids just skateboarding down the road. And it was, and I did get on a skateboard. So I guess that was probably my last time. But now they have these skateboards. My daughter Jill, her boyfriend Chris, he has a skateboard and a remote control thing that like electric bikes, the skateboard goes and he doesn't even have to scoot it or push it or whatever, you know, it just stands on it and it goes like 30 miles an hour. Just, you know, he works in different studios in Burbank and stuff as in the art department or art director or something like that. And so, yeah, so that's some of the times he gets to work on a skateboard. And I think, you know, you talk about skate parks, they are great. In fact, we have one here in Carlsbad right next to the police department, and it's a really nice one. And it keeps the kids off the streets. It help, you know, keeps them out of trouble, gives them something to do, and they love it.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. We should touch on Billy Wilder, of course, directed The Fortune Cookie. What a fantastic director. Of course, he did Some Like It Hot, one of the funniest comedies ever. He did The Apartment, which is it has some comedy in it, but a little more drama. That was a great movie. But yeah, he is a fantastic director. Fantastic.
And writer. He was a great writer.
Yep. Yeah. And he worked quite a bit with Lemmon and Mathoff, you know. So of course, The Fortune Cookie had this. I love the schemes these guys come up with, you know, like Jack Lemmon plays this sports photographer who ends up getting into an accident that really wasn't that bad, you know, but Mathoff, of course, is his brother-in-law who decides
Willie Whiplash. Yep.
Willie Whiplash decides, you know, look, you know, if you fake this, you can
get your wife back.
Yeah, you know, and of course, watching Mathoff scheme is hilarious. You know, and of course, he goes through all, because if I was the Mathoff character, I would screw it up, you know, because I'd never come up with these things on the spot. But he knows how to fool the other lawyers or the people that he's going up against, and he knows just what to say. And of course,
so how about you can't fool all the people all the time, you know, and bringing that in. So yesterday, my husband got me food, brought me from Panda Panda, and I saved the fortune cookie for you.
Fortune cookie.
Yeah, but I'm not going to eat it. This is for you. This is your fortune, okay?
Okay.
Okay, let's see what it says. I hope it's a good one. Your friends depend on you for solid advice. Oh my gosh, this is great. this is for all the people listening to you right now. Do you have any advice for today?
You know what? It's funny that says that, because I find I am sought out. I have a guest right now, somebody who's been on my show, who I'm helping her through dealing with depression.
Gee.
Yeah. And I'm one of these, I learned through I grew up in the church, you know, I come from a Christian family. So I've learned a lot about
Faith.
not just faith, but prayer.
Huge.
Yep. And I know and I don't want to get into politics, but when Trump was president, thoughts and prayers were thrown around like lifeless words. And I actually had this woman say to me, she said, "Are you really praying for me?" Because she heard that so much. I said, yeah, I am. And I've actually texted her or phoned her to see how she's doing. And because I've dealt with depression periodically in my life, and I've beaten it more than once, and I kind of know what to expect. And so I'm kind of going alongside this woman, because she doesn't live right here. She's one of my guests, actually. She's been on my show. So, and she texted me the other day, voicing her appreciation and whatnot. But I find prayer helps, because it says in the Bible, where two or more come together.
Gathered in my name.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. And another thing I also do is for me, when I was depressed, I used to drive my friends up the wall talking about it a lot, but sometimes it helps. And but yeah, I just come alongside. I had another thing I used to do too, because I hit a bad depression back in 2006, where I had my heart broken, and I had a hard time just getting out of bed in the morning. But
wait, what did you break?
My heart.
Oh, your heart.
Yeah, a woman broke my heart. And I just had this image going through my head of John Cusack in High Fidelity yelling out his apartment window, because he was talking about his top 5 breakups. And he goes to his window and says, "You hear that, Laura? You weren't good enough to make the top 5. You may have squeaked in at number 6, And I watched High Fidelity probably every night for 3 months. And
wow.
It was very helpful, very helpful. So I remember there was just one morning I woke up and I felt fine. And I was like, maybe this is an off day. Following day, I felt fine. So when I got hit with depression the next time, it was bad, but I knew there was going to be that morning I was going to wake up and I was going to be fine. It's just a matter of when. It's waiting it out. And this woman, this actress, actually, it said to me, she goes, "Promise me that'll happen." And I hate to promise people anything, but I said, you know what? If it worked for me, it'll work for you. So I've been kind of going alongside her and helping her with that. So yeah. In fact,
your advice as far as prayer. I discovered that, I guess, early on in my life, because of thankfully to my mom and my grandparents, and just that whole Christian faith base, and discovering I was born at Queen of Angels Hospital, and discovering, just knowing we have a guardian. I believe we have guardian angels.
I believe it says that right in the Bible.
And not just guardian angels. I believe there's various types of angels. Sometimes I read a book once, and she described, the author described, that there's angels that they call runners. And I've shared this with my kids and grandkids. And there's ones just sitting on the sideline, waiting for you to, excuse me, ask them for help in something. And it could be little things. And then, so I've been doing this for years, And then I actually shared with my family, like, I'll get my runners on it. And they kind of rolled their eyes. Oh yeah, but what are your, hang on just a second.
That's okay.
Anyway, and I told them, the runners like little angels, they're just sitting waiting. But when they do help you, you have to make sure, just like when God answers your prayers, excuse me, you have to acknowledge them and say thanks, And so I do that all the time. And now I'll get calls from my kids or grandkids. Mimi, can you ask your runners or whatever? I said, okay, well, let's ask your runner too or whatever. But or angels, and I also believe that after we pass in this life, that our energy and our spirits, our souls, whatever, that it doesn't stop, that it continues on. I don't know exactly what our capacity
or
is.
We'll be in God's presence, we'll have a new body,
I think that, and I like to think that, like, various family members of mine that have passed on have come back, and somehow their energy or their essence or whether it's in my dreams or feeling that they're still kind of watching out for me. And I tell my kids, my family, my grandkids, and my husband, I say, after I'm gone, you might not see me physically, but I'm going to be watching out for you guys, or I'm going to be hanging, I'm not going to be too far away. So I like to think that, I talk to my parents or relatives or grandparents or people that have passed, and just as though they're here. The same thing, I talk to God or my guardian angel. Sometimes I'll ask my guardian angel to talk to someone else's guardian angel, because maybe they can go in through a back door. Like, because you talk about depression, but there's, I think a lot of people battle or are dealing with depression in various forms, especially as we get older, whether when you lose someone that you're close to or you love, or if it's a heartbreak or whatever, or it's just something, it's something that happens to you that that's sad, that that you didn't and that you have no control over, and that is very you feel you're not, I don't know how to express it, but you get depressed because you don't know how to deal with it. So one way to empower yourself to get out of that, with what you're saying, is, well, for me, is just, you try to think about your blessings, or something, or the fact that God doesn't want you to be sad. He wants you to be filled with joy, and he wants you to be happy. And sometimes thinking, like, what can I do for someone else? And focusing on that, and think about, just pick one person, and what can I do to make that one person happy today? What can I say? What can I do? What can I give? And then all of a sudden will, for me anyway, get me out of that sadness, which, now with this whole, a lot of lockdowns and people not being able to travel or hug, how hugs are huge, especially, I feel that as a grandparent, but ever since I was a little kid, I need that physical contact, and that exchanging of loving energy from hugs. And so many people sadly died without that, or have been without, and that causes a lot of depression. Because think about this, and I mean, for me, I can be sad about something, and you hug someone, even if it's someone you're maybe not close to, but maybe they feel that you need a hug, and that thing, your hug lasts for 10 or 20 seconds. It's almost like that this sad, I want to say dark energy, is replaced with this glowing, happy, joyous energy that's get you out of your depression. And so maybe, I know they talk about all the social distancing and everything and whatever, but just those hugs are huge, and they're free. They don't cost, they're not like having to buy drugs and stuff, right?
It's kind of like when I go to Frightmare in the Falls, you know, I want to be able to touch the guest, not social distance, you know. I remember meeting Lynn Laurie of the movie Shivers. She gave great hugs, you know, and I was like, yeah, I want to be able to experience stuff like that, you know. But it's funny you mentioned depression because after the ice bucket challenge became a big thing for ALS. You
Oh,
remember that?
yes, yeah. So I had come up. My kids did it. One of them did it on an airplane.
Well, there one came up after we sadly lost Robin Williams. One came up for suicide and depression called the Doubtfire Face Challenge. And I threw this out to some of my guests. You video yourself, you take a pie in the face, and you nominate 3 people. And I've been throwing that out, trying to get the industry involved like they were for, I didn't start it. It's something I seen, but I kind of took it and ran with it, you know?
Okay, so I missed this one. This is about a pie in the face.
Mm-hmm.
I did that once to my mother-in-law, and it was so funny, but she didn't think it was at the time. Oh my, but this is like 30 years, more than that ago. But yeah, oh my gosh, I can see how that could be really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What, you pied your mother-in-law?
I did. It was like I made this really awesome. I made 2 banana cream pies, and I don't know what came over me. It's every once in a while I would get these like, you know, it's like when the one time when I would pull the chair out to put so my aunt could sit down, and I just pulled it out, and then she fell in. But you know, it's like watching those slapstick movies when I was a kid. And when you watch it, it's funny, but then when in real life, like I felt really bad. Okay, what did you say?
Well, I just wondered which mother-in-law this was.
Oh, I've been married a few times. Sorry, it was my first mother-in-law, and she was so fun, and so she was. Anyway, I was the only one. Well, actually, Grandpa Roy laughed too. So yeah, I don't know what came over me. I had these really great pies that I'd make, and with tons of whipped cream. It was like Christmas time, and I was thinking, oh, wouldn't this be fun, you know? And she was, you know, and we got along great. I mean, I loved Anne, and so I didn't do it because you know I had some mother-in-law issues, right? And I'd never done it. It just, I don't know. I just like maybe it was that little, you know, like the Warner Brothers cartoon where you got the I guess the Bugs Bunny, the devil and the angel, right? One on each shoulder. And one says, you know, do it. And the other one, don't do it, you know. So I just did it. Anyway, yeah.
Did she get you back?
She did. And that was totally cool. You know, I ran, but then I thought, you know, no, I gotta let her get me. So she did. But I gave it to her with a fresh pie, a whole pie. She just gave me with the bits that were left over.
Well, if you're up for it,
would be fun to do that again. Did that one die out or what's
no? I'm still pushing it. I just had an indie film actress do it, and I had a wrestler do it. Actually, a couple wrestlers do it, and I've had some actresses that. I've had some actors, but I had a lot of actresses do it. Yeah. I usually usually depends on their sense of humor.
I think I might know of a few that I could suggest, you know, just see if they want to do it. And this is for depression, right?
Yeah, suicide and depression awareness.
And you call it the Doubtfire pie?
Doubtfire Face Challenge.
Doubtfire Face Challenge. Okay.
Like my friend.
You know what? Yeah, no. If I think, you know, you think about different causes to be involved with, and you, because of what your parents are going through, you identify with that. And, you know, and I thought like, well, you know, what issues have I dealt with? I've dealt with mental illness in my family, hearing loss, blindness, yeah, so, and the depression that goes along with the mental illness and the misdiagnosis and the prescribing of the trial and error of drugs and the long-term effects of all of this on generations. And yeah, it just, but without that faith, whether it's, whatever faith that is, whether, for me and maybe for you, it's your Christian faith. Some people, it's a different type of faith, but whatever gives them peace in their soul, and they can share, that love and kindness, because that's really basically what it's all about, is just, being kind and considerate and respectful of others, right?
Yeah.
And but that's, I think, one of the biggest challenges we're seeing right now in our country. At least I see it in ours. I don't know what it's like for you, but we have a lot of homelessness, and a lot of that's mental illness. And they changed, I guess, was back in Ronald Reagan's day, that they changed the laws as to how to deal with people on the streets or mental illness and things. And it's a real challenge. And there's there's no quick fix.
No. Well, did you want to do the Doubtfire face challenge?
Yes. Okay, so when I do it, I just have to pick a place and a person and have someone filming it, right? And then I'll send it to you and you can post it? Yeah. Or do I post it on Instagram and then tag you?
You could send it to me, but you could do both if you want to.
So I'm gonna talk to my kids too, because my kids are really awesome and they're fun, and but they also know, they've seen firsthand in the last few years what depression has done. And in fact, they have family members that have taken their own lives. So it's young people that I'm sorry, do you ever get that chicken skin, or with that little, like, you get little chills when you talk, or someone says something? Well, to me, that's your little angel saying, listen, or yes, this is what you're saying is pay attention, or this is true. And I just got that when I'm talking to you about this, that these too many young people, and older too, but I'm talking young, in their teens and 20s, that have lost their lives.
Well, here's something I generally do. You do the Doubtfire face challenge, and I'll donate to the charity of your choice in return.
Oh my gosh.
Do you have a charity? Do you have a charity?
I actually, I don't. I've always just paid tithing to the church. And
what about the unemployed guitar player charity?
Oh, my husband's mentioning the unemployed guitar charity.
There you go.
No, but and that's why I was talking earlier, like, about who I would have, whether it's giving to the blind. I mean, different occasions, I have donated, someone else has a cause, but I would like to have one. Actually, I'm not into just one cause. There's so many good causes out there. So when everyone just says, hey, can you donate this? Anything you can afford, like, there's my button, just whatever. But it would be nice. I think, do you have one that you specifically, that helps with depression, or on a?
I don't know. I do this out of awareness. I never tell people to give money, because I don't want to do that. So I ask people to do the challenge. Especially people in the industry, because that's what people want to see. I've done the challenge twice, but people want to see people in the industry do it, not me, But I've done it, and I've had a number of my guests do it, and so no, I thought I'd throw that out there, But like I said, if you have a charity that speaks to you, I'd make a donation in your honor, and I've done that to various charities that my guests have been involved with. It's kind of my way of saying thanks, Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. So I'll think of something. If not, just building that awareness you're talking about, and it's an awareness of people knowing that they're not. I think every family out there has some family member that is dealing with depression, and sometimes it's just not knowing who you can talk to safely, because sometimes people have something happened to them in their lives and they don't want to share that, whether it's out of shame or fear or just not wanting to burden someone. And what I've always told my children is, you know, at early ages, find someone. If you can't talk to me, find someone in your life you can talk to and share whatever is going on with you. And yeah, because yeah, but I know there's agencies out there and different help, and especially for the mental, you know, for mental health issues. And sometimes you see the warning signs and sometimes you don't, because a lot of people that are depressed smile a lot because they don't want someone
Robin
to know
Williams.
how sad they are.
Yep, Robin Williams was one of those.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. And
well, at a time that's convenient for you, do the challenge and nominate
and
3
I'm going to
people.
share it with my kids. I'm going to have my kids share it too. And I said, you know, they have some friends that are also in the entertainment business. So I'll see if we can like start a snowball rolling here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Maybe eventually we can get Emma here to do it.
You know what? You can throw that out there. Just take her, right?
Oh, I don't have any direct contact with her.
No, but you never know who does, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but nonetheless, yeah, I thought I'd throw that out there, you know, and but getting back to the fortune cookie, you know, like I said, first time math off and Lemmon, that would go start in the 60s and go right into the 90s, you know, like that's a duel that's gone a long, I don't know how many movies they did together, you know, but they did a lot.
10, right? Or did you know what? Okay, so yesterday when we were talking, I thought I might be the only one alive that had anything to do with a fortune cookie.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out I'm not. Right? Okay, let me. The lady that played the wife of Jack Lemmon, what's her name? She's still alive. I think she's maybe she's 80 or something like that.
Okay.
I think she was born in the 1940s. I had her name. Oh darn.
Just a second.
Judy West. It's Judy West. Yes.
Judy West.
Yeah. So you should see if you can get a hold of her, or I don't know, maybe on IMDb or some.
I'm seeing her. Yeah. Okay.
Wouldn't that be fun to talk to her? Because she was an amazing actress in that, and I think that was her real singing too. So really talented actress, and so she's still around. And there was someone else too, a gentleman actor. If you hang on a second, do you want to know, or do you want to look it up later?
Actually, I can just go right down right through here.
Hang on, right back, just a second.
You don't have to go back. This is the guy who worked at Boom Boom.
Oh yeah, Boom Boom Jackson.
Ron Rich.
Ron Rich, yeah, I'm seeing him on here. He was born in 1938.
Wait, so Boom Boom Jackson's still, not Boom Boom, what's his real name?
Ron Rich.
Ron Rich, yes, he's still alive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know, we should have a reunion. And I don't know where, I think I'm not sure where they are right now, but yeah, that would be fun to get, have them as part of your podcast.
Absolutely, yeah.
And what's interesting is when this movie was filmed with the Cleveland Browns, at the time, my aunt's husband owned the Baltimore Colts.
Uh-huh.
And but I had early on, I had a connection with football. With that, and then the Baltimore Colts, after Carol Rosenblum died, my aunt took the team to Los Angeles. Oh no, before he died, when they went to Los Angeles, and then after
He traded for the Rams.
Well, he traded, right. He traded the Baltimore Colts for the Rams. That's true. And then my aunt took the Los Angeles Rams to St. Louis. And then now they're back in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's, so that was really interesting. I remember going to a lot of the football games and actually seeing the cameramen like Jack Lemmon, with those big old heavy cameras and doing all that stuff. So that was fun.
Now they can do it on their iPhone.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's okay. And I remember at the time I overheard my mom talking about how they were filming Fortune Cookie in black and white
Mm-hmm.
because they had a budget. And I guess color would have been a ton more money.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it is interesting watching it in black and white. It's a different, it gives it a darker feeling because it is sort of a dark comedy, right?
I just love it when Mathoff is telling Jack Lemmon how he's feeling.
These guys, I mean,
I feel fine. No, you feel miserable.
Yeah, I miss those. I miss their acting and that kind of, it would be nice if they could just still be around making more movies. And sometimes I've had that. In fact, one of my family members actually is a producer and director and does films. And I said to him years ago, I said, wouldn't it be fun to do a remake of the Fortune Cookie with, because my cousin Chip had a connection with, the football team and also film. And I was we were trying to think like, who would you cast in those roles? You couldn't, it would be a really tough remake because they were one of a kind.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they could. Well, I suppose they might, but would they do it as effectively? That's the key,
It would be fun or be interesting to see what characters, and you'd have to change. You had to make it different somehow, to make it more interesting or different kind of interesting, and add something to it. But I don't know. That would.
I know one thing. I like Eddie Murphy's version of the Nutty Professor better than Jerry Lewis's.
That's true. That was fun.
Yeah.
So some remakes, they're just different, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I often thought like, who would the football player be, and who would take the part of Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, and I could be the old granny that's crying. Oh no! I could be so annoying.
What do you think? 55 years for the Fortune Cookie, and it's now a comedy classic.
I still get residuals. I can buy Haagen-Dazs just off the checks I get from that film. But no, seriously, it's surreal. It's like the fact that it's been 55 years. And I look at when I watch the movie and I look at that little girl, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that looks like my little granddaughter. But I mean, it looks like Hazel, so totally, or my daughter Joy, or my daughter Jamie. It's like, and over the years, I've gotten to share with different grandkids, and they go, "That's you, Mimi," and I think, wow, I'm so glad actually that I get that I was a part of that, and I got to share that with my kids and grandkids, and it was really, what a blessing. And just the whole way that happened with my rhinestone cross, and wow, I mean, it was fortuitous and just supposed to be part of my life, I guess.
We got to bring up another film you've done too. I mean, you get to work with Billy Wilder, of course. You also get to work with Roger Corman with Bloody Mama.
Oh my gosh, that's a whole other story. Do you want that now or for another time?
No, we could do that. Yeah.
Oh golly. Okay, so let me start first with how I got the part.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I think 13 years old,
mm-hmm.
and they were looking for a young Ma Barker, the gangster, right? and I was going to be Kate Barker. And I remember my stepmother, Suzanne, taking me to the interview, to the audition, and it's on the second story of this building. And she was parked. She had this cute little Mercedes convertible that her dad had gotten her, and she's down below in the parking lot, and I could see her car down below the window, right? Okay, so I'm doing my audition and everything, and talking to them, and then all of a sudden you hear this horn honking down below in the parking lot. Well, she wanted me to hurry up and finish my interview, right? So she's honking her horn. And they're saying, "Who is that?" I go, "Oh, that's my stepmom," you know. And then somehow it came up, I guess, that I don't know, she was, or that her dad owned the Baltimore Colts at the time, and I guess maybe I don't remember, but I was like 12 or 13, and so my mom at the time was in Italy, in Rome, Italy, on a tour for a few weeks. And if my mom had been in town and read the script, there's no way she would have let me play in that movie. But, okay, because I wasn't even allowed to see the movie. I think at the time anyway, but let me go back to, so I got the part, and I get a call that they need me to go back to, I missed the cast plane to go back to Bull Shoals, Arkansas. Yes.
Why wouldn't your mom want you to be in the movie? Because you got raped in the opening scene?
Well, okay. Yeah, that was part of it. I have to remind you that my mom wouldn't have let me be in the movie because I get raped in the opening scene by my father and two brothers. Okay. So, anyway, I didn't know any of this. Okay. Because I wasn't allowed to, I'm just told that I'm going to be a young, play Ma Barker. She's a gangster, right? Okay. So, I missed the plane, the cast plane. So I'm on my own. Oh, so my mom's out of the country. And so my dad arranged for a family friend. Her name was Hesper McGee, this nice big old Irish woman. Like, I mean, we're talking big. And so she went with me we landed, I guess, I don't know where anyway. We ended up in Bull Shoals, Arkansas, and at where we're filming. And I remember how there's a storyboard, and that of like who's going to be what they're filming the next day or that day. Okay, and so I saw on the board that it says Kate gets raped by her father, two brothers, right? And I didn't know what that meant exactly, but I knew it was bad. So, except because I was 13, remember I was very sheltered and I was going to Catholic school. Okay, so the day of the filming, the morning of, I got dressed and whatever, and I had my shorts on, and then I go to wardrobe and they put on some like burlap sort of dress on me, right? And again, after they did that, I put my shorts on because I'm thinking, okay, I read that thing about Kate getting raped, and I just want to make sure that I got, I'm protected here, okay? And so we do this, and Roger tells me, he takes me in this like dark room, and he tells me what's going to be happening. I'm going to be running through the forest, and that my father and the two brothers are going to, pin me down or whatever, and I got to struggle. And then just and that was it. So he told me which way to run and all that stuff. So I did all that, and then I finally let them catch me where he told me to let them catch me, and after that scene he said cut, and then Roger comes up to me and he says, "Okay, Lisa, that was great, that was wonderful, but next time when you do this, I need you to when you were struggling, your legs spread in your pants, and we could see your panties." I go, "Oh, those were my panties. Those were my shorts," right? And thinking like, it's okay. Those are my shorts. Anyway, so we filmed it 2 more times. Oh, but afterwards, he had wardrobe spray my shorts brown so that, in case that happened again. So then, but guess which take they took? They took the first take where it looked like my panties were flaring, like whatever, but those were my shorts, but they were white shorts. So, anyway, that was to me. And then then there was another scene where I was supposed to be crying, and because something really hurt, and they wanted to put glycerin tears on me, so I would have like fake tears. And so, but when I did when they had me do when we did the real take, the tears just came flowing, so we didn't need to use any glycerin tears. So that was interesting. But I remember, when we were there at the hotel, I remember talking to people. We had some off time, and I said, hey, I noticed there were boats out there, and I said, I'd love to go water skiing. So someone arranged for me to go water skiing in the lake there. And then later I found out, like a few days after I went water skiing, that they have these poisonous moccasin snakes that I could have been like killed. So, but yeah, that was, it was, so my mom, needless to say, when she got back from Europe, was not happy about what, that I'd been in that film and stuff. And then I didn't get to see it for years, because I guess it was X-rated at the time. And then it turned out to be R, but everything changes now. So, but I got to meet all those actors that went on to do, oh gosh.
Shelley Winters.
Oh my gosh, amazing actress. She was, wow.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah, there was Robert De Niro.
Oh yeah, young Robert De Niro. Bruce Dern is in this.
Bruce Dern. I remember sitting at the table eating with those guys, and then so when we were filming out on location, and there are lots and lots of extras and all the local people, and then the guy that they had to play my dad, I mean, they were all locals, and a lot of the people there, I mean, a lot of them didn't have teeth. I remember that. It was a really interesting adventure, a learning experience, just seeing that part of the world. But yeah, it was fun.
And of course, you had Pat Hendel in that, Don Strode, and Diane Varsi.
As a kid, and even as a kid, all of those, they didn't mean anything to me. But over the years, watching them in their careers and such, it was fun thinking, well, I know that person.
And I must bring up too, you played Susie in the Partridge Family. It says on
that
here.
Was fun. That was fun. And then watching Keith Partridge and Shirley Jones. In fact, Shirley Jones was an amazing singer, and she was, I think, a friend with my late Aunt Georgia. And I think before my aunt, when she was in the entertainment business, I think they went out for some similar roles.
Yeah. No, growing up, I did not watch the Partridge Family, and that might have been something my mom watched. But I'm kind of looking at the
probably. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I know who Susan Day is from the movie Looker, and she certainly was that.
They were all those kids were they were all really cute, and that was fun filming that too. That was and then right after that, my parents were divorced, and then I moved to Palm Springs to live with my dad and help and had he had a new family that was with my stepmom, and I got to help out raising my little sister Georgia at the time. And so my life just sort of, I went from doing the Hollywood thing, which I loved and it was fun, and I did a ton of commercials and modeling things, so that was done. And so a new part of my life was just moving to Palm Springs and focusing with my newborn little sister, and kind of, because my stepmom, right shortly after she gave birth to my little sister Georgia, she had really bad rheumatoid arthritis, so it was very crippling arthritis. So she had a difficult time in caring for her. So I got my maternal instincts just turned on, and then from there, I just, after little Georgia, then I ended up getting married and having 6 little ones of my own, and now they're all taller than me, except for Jill. So my youngest, Jill Renner, is an actor right now in Hollywood, and she's done a lot of films and television things, and so my middle name was, well, my stage name was Lisa Jill.
Mm-hmm.
And that was because my mom had 5 girls, and I guess she didn't, for whatever reason, didn't want to use our last name Irwin. So there was Patrice Noel was my oldest sister. There was then Valerie Suzanne was number 2, and Lisa Jill, me, and then Pamela Marie, and then Carol Ann. So we were all, my mom was busy taking us always on auditions and different things. But most of the jobs I ever got, my mom, didn't have a babysitter for whatever reason. She would take 2 or 3 or 4, or however many girls, she'd pick us up at school and take us all on the audition. But she wouldn't just take the one kid that was called. She would just like sign us all in, because your odds are better. So almost every job I ever got was not for me. It was for Valerie or for Pam or for Noelle. Or they'd see, like, the first commercial I got was a Chevrolet commercial, and someone saw me doing something out in the hallway, and they go, well, what about her? And so I got that part. And the Bear Aspen commercial and Mattel toys and all those things. Like, maybe a few of them are my calls, but mostly it was one of my siblings. And so I was really lucky that my mom was that smart to take all of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Going back to when you took your kids to the cons and whatnot, was there anybody that you met there that, like any of the celebrities there that you met there that you were just like blown away to meet?
Not me, but when
Mm-hmm.
my grandkids saw that I got to get really close to, I forget which character it was. They go, Mimi, why didn't you take us? I go, I didn't know. I don't know. There was not just one person. I just loved, oh, you know what? They did have different classes, or not classes, but things you could sign up for to listen to the person talking about their careers or whatever.
Oh, panels, yeah.
Yes. And there was one that I went to, and I actually went to high school with her, and she studied under Roger Corman. And I'm sorry, my mind is a blank right now. Sherry. She did the Terminator.
Oh, just a second. I'll bring that up.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I kind of had a concussion when I fell after I fell on the stairs. When I've had a couple of concussions, one from ice skating and one from something. So my mind isn't always the best recall. Shelley.
Yeah, I'll bring it up here.
I know he did. Yeah, who directed the Terminator?
James Cameron.
Okay, no, I thought she was involved with that too.
Oh, I'm not seeing a Shelley.
Shelley. Hang on, let me. I don't know where my phone is. Oh, I'll tell you later. Okay, I can't remember, but I went to her class, and then I remember raising my hand, or going to her at the end of the symposium, and saying, "Hi, do you remember me from high school?"
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, that was a neat experience, just going there and just seeing everyone in costume, and how happy and how much fun they were having. But I think the best part of it was just the joy that my kids had. My daughter Jill went, and her boyfriend Chris, and Bennett and Julian and Gavin and Gary. They really how thrilled they were to see all these different characters.
Oh yeah.
That was fun.
Well, I got the bug on it, so. But yeah, you got any like web pages or any other charities or anything like that you want to plug on here?
Well, okay. Can I plug my daughter Joy Downer.
Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I got my daughter Jasa Bishop. She's a writer. She's a real estate broker in Utah. Utah and California. But my oldest daughter Jasa, she also is a writer and poet, and she's got an animated film going to be coming out. But I'll share that with you later, okay? And and she's the mother of my granddaughter Sophie, and who's an amazing horseback rider and stuff. But then comes Jimmy. I told you about Jimmy, GideonPhoto.com, amazing wedding photographer, but just the nicest guy, and his wife Lauren and their kids Gavin, Garrett, and Bennett and Julian. Then comes Jamie. Jamie's in Utah, and she's amazing. She's written music, and she was almost got a Grammy Award for a song she wrote. And she's got 2 little kids, Mila and Liam. And okay, if ever you want to talk about, she's got a TED Talk or something about, for 14 years, she struggled with miscarriage after miscarriage. And finally she got 2 miracle babies. And that's a whole other story I could tell you about, stuff like that. And then she's married to Tim, and we call those guys the Loveys. And then comes, and Jamie's the president of Elay Spas, and helps me stay beautiful, and all these other women all over Utah. Then comes Jonathan. Jonathan Bishop was, he's actually a bartender at the Normandy in Los Angeles. Awesome bartender, but he toured with Warped Tour. He started a band called Off by One. And you've heard of this girl called Avril Lavigne?
I have several Avril Lavigne t-shirts here. I've seen her in concert.
Okay, so Avril Lavigne was recording her first album at Matrix, where my son Jonathan and his band Off by One, they were filming their first album. And so the lead singer in my son's band was Mark Gould, and Mark and Avril had a thing going. And turns out that, and my sister Georgia, my little sister, had mentioned to Mark that he should treat Avril nicer, because he was kind of like being not as nice as he should have been. And so they ended up breaking up, and she wrote 2 songs that were inspired by Mark: Complicated and Skater Boy.
Oh.
And so you've heard of Avril Lavigne, but guess where Off by One is? So anyway, they made the mistake, I shouldn't say mistake, but they made Mark's decision was to sign with a band, off-label band, off-label record label that offered each of the kids like a few $1,000s at the Guitar Center if they would sign with them. And Avril, well, you've heard of Avril, but unfortunately, if the kids had stayed with Matrix, I think that they would have had a whole different life. But Jonathan is amazing singer, songwriter, and adventurer. I mean, he reminds me of like a Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of guy. He's totally into that era. And then comes Joy Downer. That's my number 5 baby. And you can look her up. She would be a fun one. And she has wonderful friends in the entertainment industry that'll help you with your pie thing. No, I'm not kidding. She was on the James Corden show, but unfortunately that was a Zoom thing. So, but if ever that was live, she could probably do a live pie deal. With Beck as her bass. Oh, that's true. Beck. Do you know Beck? Okay, so Beck is a friend of hers, and he was the bass player with her husband.
Oh, Beck. Yeah, I know who I know who you're talking about. What did you say Joy's last name was?
Well, Joy Downer. So Jeffrey Downer was in a band with my son Jonathan at the time, and then they were called, I think it was Hello Sunshine. But then Joy ended up marrying Jeffrey. So Joy Bishop, my daughter Joy Bishop, ends up being Joy Downer because she married Jeffrey Downer. So their music's all about ups and downs, right? So it's the Joy Downer kind of. Anyway, it's fun. And Jeffrey is an amazing musician, and Joy is a wonderful singer-songwriter, and the 2 of them together. And they also do something with Lauren. What's Lauren's last name? Kohler. Lauren, do you know the Kohlers? Okay, so Lauren Kohler was also on the James Corden show, and she was like, she's so cute. She's like a dancing, she dances on a drum and stuff like that. And anyway, so that was just recent that they were on that, maybe in May, a few months ago. It was a Zoom call like this one. And so, but anyway, that's Joy. And they're the parents of little Hazel, my granddaughter Hazel. And then comes Jill. That's my youngest. That's Jill Renner. She is active in the entertainment industry, and she has friends too that I'm going to ask her to see if she can, help get your pie thing going.
Jill Renner. I looked at Joy. The pictures are cool.
Oh my gosh,
album
Joy,
covers. Wow.
She was a model for a while, and she'd be in magazines, and I didn't even know it was her. She can change. She's like a butterfly. It's amazing, depending upon the makeup or the hair. So the first years ago we did this show called. Do you remember MTV? Date My Mom.
Yeah.
It was on MTV. Okay, so Joy was in high school, or just out of high school at the time, and she asked me if I would do the show called Date My Mom. And I go, what? She goes, oh, come on, Mom, it'll be a bonding time. We can bond. And I said, okay. And I'd never seen the show. So turned out we were doing this thing, and I go on this, we show up at this, where they're doing the filming, and she is so good on film. I mean, live. She comes up with some amazing lines, and she's comedic and whatever. So one of the things she says when the doorbell rings, she says, oh, holy matrimony, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But so, and then when we were offset in between filming, I also got the opportunity to meet Lawrence Juber's wife at the time. And she said she was married to a guitar guy. And I said, oh, I'm married to a guitar guy. And so we both went into our respective trailers and Googled each other's husbands and ended up putting them together. And that's how they ended up in a lot. I think later on they ended up doing that Larry Carlton show together. But well, maybe it wasn't because of that. But anyway, it was fortuitous. But we had such fun filming that together. And she's right. It was very insightful, me seeing a part of her on live camera, how entertaining she was. And but even when my kids, when your family portraits, it's time to get your picture done at Sears or wherever you are, or Penny's, and I would take them in. And some of my kids wouldn't be in the mood for the family pictures, but as soon as the camera was rolling, or the camera guy says, "Say cheese," oh my gosh, yeah, Joy would just light up, just like wow, Not so much Jason. Jason wasn't in a good mood. She let you know it, but and then little Joy. Anyway, so those are my kids and grandkids, and so between my husband and myself, I've got 3 bonus kids. I have one in France, Harmony, and then I have Leo and Elsa, both amazing kids, and then we've got 9 grandkids between us. My 8 and his 1. So they keep us busy. I know in the entertainment, you deal a lot with people in the entertainment business and interviews, and there's, people see, what the media presents to them as far as, their persona or whatever the PR is in charge of. And what's interesting is they all have these like backlives, like real, like what they're really like. And I've got to see that a lot too. And it's really, it's nice. It's nice when you can get someone like what you're doing with the Zoom call and get to know people and like the real deal, no filter.
Well, I've looked up Joy. I love the pictures. I'll tell you that. She's classy, very classy. And I looked up Jill as well. So, you know what? If any of them want to come on the show for a Zoom interview, I'm open to it.
That would be such fun. I know I'll let them know and contact, give you their contact information. And it's so fun watching each of my kids have with their own talents and their own opportunities and the things that they are, life throws you different curveballs and how they deal with all of that. It's wonderful, watching them grow. It's what a blessing, you can, but when you talk about Fortune Cookie being 55 years old, it's like, it goes by so fast.
Oh yeah. I can't believe I'm 49, it's like, yeah.
Wow.
You
don't look 49.
I've been told that. I've been told that. Yeah.
All.
I've been told that.
You got a baby face.
Oh, do I? Especially if I'm around my kitty.
Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Little Skittles, right?
Yeah, Skittles. Skittles is now hid somewhere because he knows I'm going to use them for hits. I'm like, kitty, you're living here for free.
I'm still blown away that you didn't take your first plane ride until, a few years ago. But bravo, better late than never.
You know what? Here's the thing. When I started doing the podcast part of it, opportunities opened, like I'm a co-producer on a film, and I just did it through Indiegogo, that one of my guests. Yeah. And it's just like things have opened up, and I'm just a cleaner here in Fredericton, there's nothing extraordinary about me, but it's just wonderful to be able to do this and come on here. And I was looking around to see what movies were celebrating anniversaries, and noticed, the Fortune Cookie. I was able to locate you, so I thought it was awesome to have you come on here and share your stories, and have your husband come on there for a moment, and got you all started up there. And
hey, so when we're in your neck of the woods, maybe we can do a live performance for you in your studio.
Well, yeah, at the station, yeah, we could do that.
Do you guys have a keyboard there or piano?
I don't know. I don't think so.
That's okay. He'll have his guitar, but it would be fun. I know. It just, it's wonderful that you're doing this, and you're getting, you're just talking about a lot of different subjects, not just the movie, right? Because it's like you take the movie and you look at the characters in it and the storyline, but then you also go deeper and get past that and touch on parts of life that otherwise, it might not have been talked about, or they just are a different viewpoint.
Well, here's something we could do. I was thinking about having you back, but with your husband, and talk about strictly your musical careers.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, his is so colorful.
Yeah, and we could, you guys can maybe play a piece if they are located apart where you guys can do that.
Actually, we could do it downstairs. We've actually done home concerts here.
Yeah.
And I have a beautiful grand piano that I inherited from my Aunt Georgia. That's, I want to say, magical, because I've written so many, it's just compositions on it. And my husband and I were working on an album. We're halfway finished with it, and I don't want to do any spoilers. So,
okay.
But it's totally heavenly.
I'll tell you what, would you and your husband want to come on here, say maybe next month?
Oh, before Christmas, maybe.
Okay, before Christmas. Okay.
Maybe November.
November or December? Yeah, let's do that. You want to do that?
Yeah. So would that be, okay, he's listening, so we'll talk about that, and we'll come up with some, That would be fun. That would be really nice, especially with the holidays.
You know what? I just had a band called Take Two on here that was sent my way, and they come on and they had instruments, and Jeffrey Mark has been on here and he sang, and I've had various people they come on here and they would showcase their musical talents and whatnot. And I always go where the story is, And
The inspiration behind it.
I had you on here to talk about the fortune cookie, and I'm sitting there, my mind is reeling. I'm like, you and your husband have something going musically. I was like, we should do something with that, because that'd be, yeah.
I just got that chicken skin thing again, where like the angel saying, yes, pay attention.
Yeah.
It is. It's I want to say magical, but that music has been in my heart. I mean, it's a part of me since I was little. Mm-hmm. And so when I love to, an outlet for me is sitting at the piano and just writing music. I don't write it. It's almost like I'm a conduit.
Uh-huh.
And I hit so many wrong notes because it's trial and error. And I'm trying to okay, and because I'm not the type of musician that he is, whereas Jeff, he knows what exactly to play, whether it's on the guitar or the piano. And so sometimes I'll be downstairs playing on my piano and I'm trying to get a certain feeling out, and I don't have that perfect pitch that he does or know exactly what notes it's supposed to be. I'm better, but I'm not, I'm getting better, but I'm not there yet. So he'll yell down like, try a D minor, or try this, and I'll try to go, yes, thank you, and or sometimes because I don't hear so well, and he'll yell it down and I still don't get it. He'll come down and okay, just show me on the piano what I'm wanting to hit, because he knows where I'm trying to go. Mm-hmm. And he's given me, if I were a painter, mm-hmm. and I'm limited to 88 colors. He's giving me 100 different colors on top of those, 88 being the keys and combinations. And because as music in film or whatever, music period, it can really move your emotions. And you talk about depression. Okay, a lot of music I wrote for many years was in minor keys, because that's how I felt, or when I sat at the piano, I sat there because I was trying to work out sad issues and or frustration or something was going on. But in the last since I've known Jeff, I guess I've many more songs in the major keys, and or the go up a third or go down a third, or what do you call that again, Jeff? When I do a lot of modulating. And he used to call me a germ. No, not me a germ. What did you say? Okay, like my music, because I have a lot. How did you put that about? I have a lot of ideas, Oh, and that's the other thing. I don't know if it's ADD or what, but I have musical ideas. I'll have this thought and this thought and this thought. And then when you talk about, Jeff and I having this connection, it's like I have all these pieces of a puzzle to a song, but I need to get from here. I need to put them together from here to here, right? Mm-hmm. So he's helped me on a lot of them, connect them. Does that make sense?
Yep. Makes perfect sense.
And that started probably 15, 16 years ago. And because I think we've known each other for 17 years now, maybe. Right. So now I feel like he's in my head. That's why I can hear him saying, try this. Because, I've learned to not just do the, doing the F, do the D minor, or do what he calls chord substitution. And he's taught that to a lot of people. And he's taught all these different amazing things at clinics all over, in universities all over the world. And I mean, I think there's even a book, a music book that they teach, you know, it's the Linsky method or something like that. But yeah, so that's all helped me. And so like these latest songs that I've been working on, it's so fun to get all these ideas. And then Jeff, it's like he catches my bug, or he gets that same little, I don't know, it's a connection. And he can take that and he builds on it. And then I get that, and I go, oh yeah, and then I add this to it. So it's a really nice collaboration of really inspired, you know, I want to say heavenly, or the universe, or I really feel, especially musicians, I think we're conduits that if you're really listening, that something special comes through. It's like angelic or whatever, that I guess that's why they call it it's inspired, and it's heavenly. And it's like in the beginning, when I did my first CD, Jeff, for a gift for me, he recorded an album called Sanctuary. And it was just a homemade thing, and it was songs that I'd written, and he wanted to record it so I could give it to family and friends. Well, turns out, you know, it was on CD Baby, and then it ended up on iTunes, and all these people wanted to, you know, give me money, and I felt really guilty taking money for something that, like, it didn't feel like it belonged to me. It's like it was from somewhere. It was like, you know, how can you charge for God's gift? And he used to say, because more than that, I was always giving my CDs away, like hundreds of them, you know, like just like someone would be nice to me, and I go, what nicer gift can I give than, you know, my music, right? It's a part of me. And so and I still feel that way. I feel like it's something like almost like we're translators, or you know, I don't and it's like God gives us something to help others. And there's other musician friends that I've discovered since, you know, him creating this album for me. And, you know, one of them, whether, I don't know if you've heard of the Whispering Artists, or there's another one that I love, but like Michelle McGoughlin, Michael Doolan, all these different piano solo people, they are like kindred spirits. And they, Jennifer Thompson, she's almost in Canada. She's in Washington, but just so many of them that are just amazing, gifted piano. I guess you guys they call it new age music.
Okay.
I call it old age because I've been playing it since I was a little kid, you know. But yeah, it's so doing this with Jeff, having this connection. But well, we met actually playing beach volleyball, because he was like a hotshot beach ball. I mean, he played with all the pros, and I love sports and volleyball, and he was just like a really kind, helpful, you know, volleyball coach with everybody. And then one day he introduced me, or he asked me if I wanted to come listen to him play at this event, and I did. And that's why I told you earlier that he reminded me of my grandmother, you know, that heart and soul that he laughs when I say that. He goes, I don't wear a muumuu, because my grandma wore a muumuu. But it's just, yeah, it's that connection. It's a godsend. It's a blessing, and it's a big antidepressant. Whether you're listening to it or creating it, it gets you out of that. Actually, I think it's like when I told my children, you know, find someone to talk to if you have issues. Sometimes I know firsthand that I was afraid to talk to people about stuff, or embarrassed or whatever it is, but I could go to my piano, and there I found it's kind of like a movie was playing in my head, or events, or things, or emotions, or stuff, and then I could express in the music, and that's what was a way of letting go or releasing that. Yeah, so that's why yeah, it's been a wonderful, journey, just having that as part of my life and my kids and my family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Wow.
first time, and then getting to play with Jack Lemmon on the piano was, wow, just, I didn't appreciate it, I don't think, as a kid at the time, like how nice that was of him to take his quiet time and let this little kid,
Mm-hmm.
be part of that. But yeah, it was really special. It
There you
stayed with
go.
me my whole life.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? Let's say maybe sometime in November, if you guys are up to it, have you two come on and would you two like to do that?
Oh, we've done, okay. I'm not his first choice to do a concert with
Uh-huh.
because I'm not the best jazz player and all that sort of thing. But but we make beautiful music together. So yes, are you up for that, honey?
What's that?
You and I doing a musical interview together?
Sure.
He says sure. Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll pick a date in November.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll be in touch and yeah, that'll be fun, you know. I always go where the story is, and I see another story here
Oh,
brewing.
there's
So,
so many stories, and each story leads to a few more.
well, you mentioned, you know, Joy and Jill and the others, and I'm like, yeah, thoughts are turning, you know.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. But it was wonderful having you come on here today. I thank you for getting back to me because I know we spoke early this summer, you know,
Yep.
and we're going to I had you scheduled and you had to reschedule, and I appreciate so much you got back to me, you know, because sometimes when that happens people don't get back to me and it can be frustrating. So I'm glad you're one of those that do. And when I saw your name come up on my phone yesterday, it was like, oh, this is awesome, you know. And so I was so happy to have you come on here today and celebrate the 55th anniversary of the fortune cookie and
Yes, yeah.
talk about Bloody Mama and all those. And
And you remember this, right? You can see this.
yeah, it says your friends depend on you for solid advice.
That's your fortune cookie.
My fortune cookie. Well, you know what? I think my friends do depend on me for solid advice, and I depend on many of them for solid advice.
You know what? We're not in this world alone, that's for sure.
I try to depend on my cat for solid advice, but Skittles is always sleeping on it.
Well, thanks. I look forward to connecting you with my kids.
Yep.
And I think the first one I'll connect you with is Joy. She and Jeffrey, I've watched and heard their interviews on radio stations in
Uh-huh.
Los Angeles and stuff. They are so entertaining.
Well,
And
you know what? I love the pictures I've seen online. Some of these uh she's got a real fashion sense, you know.
oh gosh, okay, you spot on. In grade school, she would put together the coolest outfits. Some of it was from thrift stores, whatever, or hand-me-downs. But the combination she would come up with, she was a total trendsetter. And fortunately, I mean, I saved a lot of things from not a lot, a few select things from when I was in high school and over the years. And I'd actually given them to her, whether they were lederhosen from Austria or a Swiss dress or whatever it is, or something. And she will wear them. And even now, I'll go somewhere and I'll find something like that's amazing at whether one of a kind thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me feel so good when she says, "Oh, Mom, I love it," and she wears it in a concert or a show or something. And she's just so cute, and she's amazing. Whether it's a model, and I know the three of them, her and Jeffrey and Hazel, did a Tempur-Pedic commercial together,
Mm-hmm.
and they not only did they get paid, they got a free Tempur-Pedic bed. But yeah, so she would be so as fashion, and then Jonathan too. Jonathan is seriously, they walk by the beat of their own drummers. I think pretty much all my kids do.
Okay.
Well, some more outside the box than others. Joy and John, I think, are more outside, where they're doing their own thing and they feel totally cool. And I just think that's so awesome.
Okay.
They kind of take after me like that, Okay, so I wore, this is just the plain blue thing, right? I was going to wear my mermaid dress, but I changed at the last second.
Are you kidding me? You look fine. You look fine. You look fine. But yeah, send them my way, and let me know when you've done your Doubtfire face challenge. And
I know I got to figure out who I'm going to do it on, because it can't be somebody, I can't tell them ahead of time. It's got to be totally someone. It's got to be really good. So I'm going to think about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you said that, did you say Joy and Jill would be open to something like that?
Oh, I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And they have friends in the entertainment industry.
All right.
I think once they've done it, it could totally snowball.
Okay. Well, you know what? Connect me with them. I'll have them on here to talk about their careers and stuff. And yeah, I think this would be awesome. This is the first time I had something like this happen since I interviewed the McBroom sisters. I had Marcia McBroom on from Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, and she connected me with her sister Lorelei, who sung with Pink Floyd, and she connected me with Durga, who was also a singer with Lorelei, who was also in the dance in the movie Flashdance, and they connected me with Apache Ramos, who's related to them, who was in the Warriors, and it's just like a domino effect,
Isn't it wonderful? You never know what's around the corner. You're just open to it.
Yep.
Yep.
And like I said, if there's a story, I'll seek it out. So sounds to me like this interview is going to lead to some others, including one with you and your husband in November. So I look forward to that, and you guys can get on here and create some.
You know what? There's another one too. Check out this website called RoboLights.
RoboLights.
My little brother Kenny. Yeah, that would be another fun one. When you were just talking about, just after we're done, you can check that out. We did Detroit, the city of Detroit had him come in and do an installation last year, and I got to help out a little bit with just the music part of it. But oh my goodness, yeah. And so he's creating some new things. He kind of took over the family home, and I'm not gonna. That's another story. But you can. That's another list. Kenny Irwin Jr.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? You got anything else you want to plug on here?
You know what? I don't know. There is another. My George's husband, my brother-in-law, Breck Eisner. He's directing The Expanse up there in Canada. Okay. So I don't know if that's that. Have you watched that TV series? It's really awesome. Okay, check that out and see if that would. I don't know. That would be a fun one for the pie, actually. Georgia gets involved in all kinds of, great causes. So I'll talk to her about that too.
Who is she?
My little sister, Georgia.
Oh, Georgia.
Georgia Eisner, yes. That was the one I told you when I left the Hollywood scene to go live with my dad and stepmom. That was the little baby that I got to help raise.
Oh, okay.
And then when she started having children, she had her first baby, Noah, and then Gracie and Rosie, but she brought in my daughter, Jill, who is living in LA, the actor. Jill's been helping out with her. So it's kind of like I paying it forward sort of thing. I help with Georgia, and then my baby helps with her babies. And yeah, it's just, she's a real sweetheart, but yeah, I can totally see her doing a pie thing.
Okay. Absolutely. No, we could have all these people on here. I'm looking.
I'm one of 10 kids, and I've got like 20 some odd nieces and nephews, and a lot of them are. Yeah, I'll keep you busy if you want to be.
Why not? You know what? Why not? I'm open to it. Why not?
And then my kids have really good friends, and Jeff's got all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I think you're going to beat your 128 in a year.
128. That was 2017. Yep. But you're number 101 this year, and
I like that.
2019 I have 101, and that was my second most. So this year I'm going to beat.
Oh, you're going to beat it already. Yeah. So we got to get, yeah, we got to get up to 129, right? 130.
We'll take it up there. I'm all for. I open my doors for anybody, so I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it, and I try to give my guests the best experience they can and promote their projects. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. I'm glad we did this.
So two things. I am Lisa Linsky Piano on Instagram.
Uh-huh.
And I'm also Mimi on the Move .fun. I started that this year because everyone keeps saying, Mimi or mommy or whatever, you should blog about all the fun adventure things you do. And I don't even, I do. I put a few things out there. I mean, I really want to do more, but but I'm careful. Like, I don't want to, post too much. I don't know.
Well, you know what? Glad you put that out there for those that want to seek further. And yeah, so anything else you want to plug on here?
No, I don't think so. Just hope that everybody has a nice, nice day and a nice upcoming holiday season. And I know we're still in the middle of or somewhere in this COVID thing, and just don't give into that fear stuff. Just
it's gotten to the point now. It's gotten to the point now where I go to a coffee shop and they want to see my papers, because I'm double vaxxed, but it's like, oh my goodness, are we really going there?
That to me is breeding fear. And that's not what, this life is supposed to be. We're supposed to be all about, I don't know, kindness and love and trust. And I mean, those are just ideals.
It reminds me of the mark of the beast in the Bible. Like it just feels like that's over the horizon here.
Or THS 1138. I read that one as a teenager. Or 1984.
I saw the movie. Yeah.
Too many Orwellian things, or things that happened, over in Germany in the 30s and 40s, and things that have happened in other parts of the world. They don't just happen overnight. But I've lived long enough to see the danger signs and like a train wreck coming and the freedoms that we've lost. But mostly, I think there's a lot of fear, and because people don't want to catch it or they don't want to give it. Mm-hmm. And then there's the guilt, or then there's also this meanness. So like, well, meanness over like, whether you're a lot of different things. It could, not just COVID related. Some people are trying to be divisive about, well, it's this person's fault, or it's this race fault, or, saying, it is what it is. And we're in the present now. So let's just choose to be kind and loving and forgiving, and don't blame our ancestors. Let's take accountability for who and where we are now. And just do we choose? Do we want to have peace? Do we want to be kind to each other? Do we want to be respectful? I think for years, I've always thought the number one thing lacking in the world is respect. I mean, love is great. I think it's tied close with love and respect and kindness, but respect, if you can't love somebody, at least show respect for, just be respectful. Mm-hmm. And that's even with this whole COVID thing, when you talk about having to show a card to go eat. Well, okay, you know what? There's two things I guess you can do. You can grin and bear it and show them your card and be, feel crummy about having to show it. Or you can not go and just say, I'm not going to give you I'm not going to patronize you because I think it's wrong that you're asking me to do this. And I guess the third thing you can do is you can get on Twitter or wherever and say, this is not nice. This is not right. And let's not do this. And if enough of us get together and say, this is not what we want to do. We don't want to build this fear, because I think that's all that is perpetuating fear. And fear leads to depression, because just that frustration and just feeling like that you can't, what is it? You have no power. You know,
Well,
I don't know, not that I don't even power. You have no, you just don't have a say. You don't have that freedom anymore. Lack of freedom. That's like we're slaves then.
mm-hmm.
And that's not a good road to be going down.
Well,
I know
I've got,
sorry, you know, but I love my family. I love my friends. I love my country. I love our
mm-hmm.
world. You know, I love my faith. I love, you know, I love this world, the universe, and all the good things about it. But if there is something that's not right, I think we have it, especially as older people, we have an obligation to say something not just say something, but do something about it, you know, and you don't have to be mean about it at all. You can do it in a really nice, kind way.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, so yeah, I hope the next time I talk to you, things are better.
Oh, I hope so. I got double vax, but if they start coming out with a booster, I'm like, okay, enough's enough. You know, I'm not a dartboard. Stop putting holes in me. You know, it's just, you know, enough's enough. You know, what after the booster, and then what after that? It's like, you know.
Well, it's almost, you know, if it is, I guess there's two trains of thought on the whole vaccine thing. Is there the people that think everyone has to get it because to protect everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So you're obligated. Everyone has to get it if you care about each other. And then there's the other one, like that we are individuals. I'm in, if I choose to drink or smoke
mm-hmm.
or whatever, you know, or do things within, you know, I'm not saying break the law or whatever, but you know, that freedom of choice, you know, you talk about, you know, I like, and it's just, you have to be so careful because especially, you know, our country, you know, was founded on basic, you know, religion, well, not just religious freedoms, but just the principle of freedom and individual rights.
Mm-hmm.
And whereas other countries weren't based on the individual rights. So I guess if we're going to go, you know, another direction, then that's kind of like where they're headed. And that's not what my ancestors who came over on the Mayflower, you know, and ones that fought on both sides of the Civil War, and I have family members that fought in the First World War and the Second World War and the Korean War. And they fought for, you know, it was all about freedom. And I have ancestors, my grandparents, and, you know, wrote songs, and my father wrote freedom songs and songs about freedom and, you know, freedom forever. And so like you talk about what's going on and you needing a vaccination card or to get your cup of coffee or something, that to me just seems so wrong.
Back.
So I'm like, hey, Skittles.
Back. Skittles, you're back again. What's that look for? Skittles is like, why?
Dad.
Skittles is like, again?
Hey,
you come
Skittles.
over here.
So Skittles, you're named after the candy Skittles, and my grandkids love Skittles.
Skittles is like, I'm not impressed. Kitty, you're going to get me some hits.
Actually, one of my granddaughters, Hazel's cats, is Chauncey. Mm-hmm. And because Pico, and she has these stray ones, but she also adopted two of them. But yeah, during the whole COVID thing, those were her best friends. You know, if she hadn't had the little cat, well, her mom and dad too. But I mean, when they were strictly quarantined in mm-hmm. Los Angeles, yeah, it's her kitties that, you know, just are like her little brothers and sisters.
Yeah. No, my cat's my good company. And when I go to Toronto for my trip, my brother will have to come over and make sure he's fed.
Well, I'm gonna let you go and look forward to next time, and I'm trying to connect you with the rest of my family.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yep. Just let me know. You can by text or email or what have you, and or by phone. It doesn't matter. You can let me know and I'll schedule them in. This was wonderful today. I was happy to have you come on here, and look forward to having you and your husband come on in November, and we
Thanks,
can do
Greg.
that. Yeah, this is fantastic.
And blessings to you and your brother and your parents. I know that's not an easy thing to go through. So
yeah.
I know you got angels all over you. So.
And I got Kitty. I got Kitty right here. And I got Skittles right here. He's waiting for me to give him some temptations.
Well, we're going to take off and go have some lunch here. Oh, wait, it's like 5 o'clock where you are, right?
Yeah, let's go be 6 o'clock here soon. Yeah, no, it's 5:30. 5:30.
Oh wow,
looking on my computer.
We've been talking a long time.
Yep, I've had interviews that's gone longer than this.
Oh wow. Well,
yeah.
Okay. I just have to go to the bathroom so bad.
That's okay. we can.
You can edit that one.
Oh, we're fine. We're fine. You know what? I got to do the same. So we will end this off, but we are celebrating the 55th anniversary of the fortune cookie. And of course, you know, Lisa Linsky, who is the young skateboarder in there, and still skateboarding today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before I let you go, would you mind doing a plug for my show?
Yes. What am I supposed to say? Thank you for having me, Greg.
Yeah. State your name and say you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
I am Lisa Linsky, and I'm listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
Yeah.
Wow, I like that name, Python. Oh, you should see my new cool shirt. It's a python and a jaguar. I just got when I was in Mexico. Okay, that's another show. Okay.
All right. All right. Well, thank you so much. God bless you, and we will be in touch. I look forward to reconnecting with you in the future. All right.
Thanks, Greg.
God bless
you.
Bye-bye.